In a moment laden with tension, King Charles makes an unexpected announcement that will send shockwaves through the palace walls. Catherine, once Duchess, is to be elevated to a status that challenges royal norms and expectations. With all eyes on Queen Consort Camilla, the atmosphere thickens with unspoken conflicts and old grudges. What led King Charles to such a decisive move, and how will Camilla respond to this seismic shift in power? Before we go deeper into what this really means for the royal family, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss a single update. The majestic grandeur of the royal setting made the bombshell announcement echo through the opulent halls, a declaration that sent whispers shivering through the crowd like a sudden chill. The court had gathered, draped in their stately attire, surrounded by walls steeped in history and power, expecting the ordinary pleasantries of royal life. Yet, the upheaval unraveling before them was anything but ordinary. Against this backdrop, King Charles stood resolute, his eyes steely, yet carrying the weight of an invisible burden. It was Catherine, the once Duchess and forever the embodiment of grace, who stood with uncommon poise amidst the rumbling chaos. Her reaction was tempered, an exquisite blend of surprise and a careful joy, a subtle dance of composure under the scrutinizing eyes of the court. She knew the unwritten rules of the game, aware that every slight expression could fuel the fires of palace intrigue. The decision wasn't born overnight. It was the crescendo of a symphony of long-standing family dynamics and labyrinthine political machinations. King Charles was a man oft caught in the tumult of tradition and the winds of change. Here he was determined, unwavering in this pivotal hour, as if every doubt ever whispered in dimly lit rooms and every skeptical gaze he had nurtured since his ascension now culminated into this act of defiance against antiquated norms. The very air shifted after the proclamation, so thick and heavy that even the chandeliers seemed to pause their glitter. It was as if the palace itself inhaled sharply, collecting the collective breath of all present, suspending it in that fragile instant before the world would crack open into a new, uncharted reality. Queen Consort Camilla stood there, her smile a rigid facade, as her eyes betrayed stories the lips dared not utter, the subtle twitch at the corner of her mouth, the cold flicker of her eyes, signs of turbulent storm, surging beneath her dignified exterior, were evident to those who knew the dance of courtly appearances. Here was a woman well versed in the battles of perception and pretense. Feeling the ground shift beneath her regal feet, her discomfort was palpable. Cutting through the air like sharpened whispers, every movement interpreted under the hawk-eyed scrutiny of watchers, eager for any signal, any clue to the power games at play. As the corridors buzzed with muted conversations and knowing glances exchanged in hushed tones, the announcement rippled outward through the kingdom, promising intrigue laid upon intrigue. Questions of loyalty, intent, and future alliances wove their tendrils through the royal court, sinking into the very marrow of palace life. Whose stars would ascend in this newly aligned constellation of influence? Which ancient scars would be given a fresh wound? What old loyalties might crumble in this recalibration of power and prestige? As the murmurs grow louder, a backstory of secrets and strategic moves slowly unfolds, dragging us deeper into the monarchy's inner turmoil. Once a mere commoner, now poised for greater glory, Catherine's journey from outsider to insider is a saga of strategic brilliance wrapped in royal elegance. Explore her quiet, yet determined rise to prominence. Was it destined by fate, or fueled by a master plan that far exceeded anyone's expectations? Born amidst nondescript circumstances, Catherine's introduction to royal life was nothing short of a scandalous twist of fate. Shrouded in whispered disbelief and muted envy, her ascent began not with a loud declaration of intent, but through a series of tactically woven encounters. With the regal airs she quickly adopted, Catherine cloaked herself in an air of mystery, one that captivated a court so adept at writing off those who dared to aspire above their stations. From the moment she stepped across the palace threshold, she mastered the fine art of balancing public scrutiny with private cunning. Her charm was not the effervescent sparkle that dazzled the masses. It was the slow, unfurling beauty of a strategic mind at work. Events dotting the royal calendar became her canvas, each appearance a calculated brushstroke to paint herself into the royal narrative. Amidst banquets and balls, she navigated the intricate dance of court life, ever watchful, ever learning. She became attuned to the hushed whispers that could topple the mightiest of monarchs, and she knew where her steps carried risk and rapture in equal measure. Her rise was mirrored in the way she subtly won over the key members of the royal family. It started with quiet conversations, infused with authentic touches of warmth. Slowly, and with a grace that seemed effortless, she wove herself into the very fabric of the family's inner circle. The old aunt, with a fondness for tales of days gone by, found an eager listener in her. The young prince, restless and misunderstood, discovered a confidant who saw beyond his title. And so it went. Each bond she formed a silent testament to her ability to play the long game without fanfare. Amongst these burgeoning alliances was the most pivotal of all her relationship with the king himself. Her influence on King Charles was not a forceful push, but a gentle guiding hand that seemed to align seamlessly with the kingdom's evolving needs. Catherine's voice became the unsung melody, playing softly in the background of strategic decisions. She and the king appeared as kindred spirits, two halves of a majestic realm, their goals entwined through mutual understanding and ambition, a subtle yet potent display of strategic alignment. Her journey was not without its trials, the path fraught with the oppressive weight of royal tradition and expectation, pressing down like a crown too heavy for its wearer. Yet, beneath the calm veneer lay the heart of a fighter. Catherine faced pressures both overt and insidious, the ancient expectations of monarchy brushing against the stark realities of modern governance. Her resilience was evident, not in grand gestures, but in her continued rise amidst the subtle sniping of courtiers and the critical eye of a nation unaccustomed to such meteoric ascent. Behind closed doors, whispers of alliances and unspoken agreements hinted at Catherine's calculated rise. Each alliance was forged with understated finesse, like invisible threads of a grand tapestry that only she could see in its entirety. Her deft maneuvering was the product of a mind forever restless, a veritable masterclass in the politics of power, played out from the shadow of the throne. Yet for every step Catherine ascended, old animosity, ties simmered beneath, bringing us to the source of her greatest hurdle, the existing Queen Consort Camilla, crowned queen amidst controversy and criticism, a reality fraught with challenges. But with Catherine's rise, her position is suddenly precarious. Will she defend her crown with grace, or will this new rivalry ignite a power struggle that could change the fate of the monarchy itself? On the day of her coronation, an intricate tapestry of expectation and skepticism wove itself around Camilla Bowles. Shaking hands with dignitaries, she keenly felt the world's eyes upon her, as critical as they'd ever been. Her ascension was not one walked with ease. Whispers of scandal hemmed her path, each misstep magnified under gilded chandeliers. Yet amidst the doubt, Camilla emerged resolute, a divisive yet formidable figure who dared to claim her space in royal history. Her strength, once drawing from King Charles's unwavering support, now seemed a flickering flame in winds of change. The once unbreakable bond with Charles, forged through shared secrets and silent promises, began to fray, strained under newly cast shadows of doubt and emerging rivals. As Catherine, the glowing new Duchess, garnered public devotion, Camilla's court a fortress, until now felt the tremors of uncertainty. Her trusted confidants, once steadfastly loyal, found themselves caught in a web of shifting allegiances. In the hushed corridors where whispers met marble, eyes once firmly aligned with Camilla began to drift, evaluating, calculating. Her arch moments of vulnerability were sensed by all, yet none offered solace, for her throne was a solitary one, now more than ever. Struggling within a gilded cage of expectation and doubt, Camilla's emotional and psychological lands became an arena of their own, a battlefield of doubt, masked by a stately smile. The royal tapestry bears witness to consorts past, echoing tales of those who dreamed and fell, who rose only to watch others supplant them. Camilla finds herself reflecting on these monarchs in shadows: Anne Boleyn, Henrietta Maria, each a tale of might, fallen to time's relentless march. Their stories whisper dark foreshadows into Camilla's contemplations, cautioning against complacency while fueling an intrinsic fire to persist. The monarchy, a grand theatre where allegiances are as fluid as river tides, is once again alive with division. The regal halls, once unified in duty, now resonate with the clandestine pulse of contention. Loyalties, which once seemed unshakable, quiver on the precipice of this brewing maelstrom. As Camilla grapples with her new reality, the truth of royal alliances and betrayals slowly emerges, providing a richer backdrop to this unfolding drama. Here, underneath the sparkling veneer of monarchy, lie the raw nerves of ambition and power forces that drive individuals to the pinnacle, or cast them down into history's forgotten pages. The question looms larger than ever before: who will thrive, who will perish, and who will be remembered? Dear, the monarchy is not just a family, it's a spectacle watched by millions. As the news of Catherine's elevation spreads, media outlets erupt with narratives of conflict and speculation. Whose side is the public on, and how is this shaping the very image of the monarchy in an era hungry for intrigue? The media, a creature both ferocious and insatiably curious, engulfs the news like wildfire, seizing the opportunity to weave alleys of chaos through its stories. Royal titles and familial loyalty become not just subjects of interest, but arenas for public judgment, and a media-induced frenzy magnifies every word, every gesture. Headlines combust with tales of unrest, painting Catherine as the ambitious usurper to some, the rightful queen to others. Audiences, divided in their allegiance, echo with either sympathy for Camilla, the once underappreciated partner, or admiration for Catherine, the embodiment of a new era. This unending dichotomy is not merely observation, it's the reverberation of centuries' worth of hierarchical expectations versus modern admiration for grit and grace. Social media, a battleground of its own making, carves deeper into the split opinions. Tweets, statuses, and viral posts cast shadows and light on the figures of royalty, influencing public perception more potently than ever before. Among the hashtags and trending discussions lie snippets of truth, conjectures concocted by eager voices, painting the monarchy in shades ranging from disdainful critique to adoring reverence. But it is not just the virtual chatter that heightens the frenzy. Clandestinely leaked stories, emerging from the shadowed corridors of royal residences, add layers to the confusion. Insiders and anonymous voices drip-feed tantalizing tidbits to a ravenous public, each new piece stirring the cauldron of rumors simmering under royal approval. The royal family's public statements, cautious yet weighted with emotion, throw kindling into the fires already burning brightly. Each word uttered by other royals acts like a cipher for the throngs invested in the saga, a glare here, a smile there, creating narratives spun far beyond their control. Such declarations, often intended as olive branches, accidentally serve as matches in the parched forest of familial grievances observed by a world now dizzy with speculation. Meanwhile, traditionalists within palace walls endeavor tirelessly to uphold the monarchy's storied dignity. Yet, in the face of mounting public divides, maintaining this grandeur resembles Martian efforts to keep a house intact during a storm. And as these winds roar through the once quiet halls of Windsor, the very entity of the throne appears at stake. Is it an age-old bastion of stoic serenity, or now a chessboard in a game of modern alliances and rivalries? That question, posed silently on millions of lips, finds its answer only in resilience, perhaps, in the evolving image the monarchy chooses to portray, willingly or otherwise, to the world. With public perception swinging like a pendulum, King Charles must brace for the ramifications of his bold proclamation, a test of familial bonds and royal resolve. In the solitude of his regal study, King Charles contemplates the heavy burden of his crown. Shadows loom over his desk, and the flicker of candlelight reveals the worn parchments that hold centuries of royal decrees. Yet, tonight, it is not the past that occupies his thoughts, but the uncertain future. His decision to elevate Catherine is more than an act of affection. It's a strategic gamble to redefine the monarchy's future. Is this a stroke of brilliance or a misstep that could ignite further royal discord? Within this storied chamber, King Charles examines his motivations, caught in a tug-of-war between the modernizing forces pressing upon the crown and the steadfast traditions that bore him. The weight of expectation hangs heavy, with restless visions of the monarchy's future wrestling in every corner of his mind. He finds solace, though tinged with complexity, in his relationship with Catherine and Camilla. Catherine, a symbol of fresh beginnings, brings with her the promise of renewal, her youth and vigor infectious. Camilla, on the other hand, embodies a lifelong fidelity, a comfort in the familiar that has grounded him amidst the whirlwinds of change. Each confidant offers counsel, yet it is Catherine's ambitions that spark the fire of transformation. Her eyes, bright with visions unbridled by tradition, are mirrors reflecting not only her aspirations, but also his own unspoken desires. But what of Camilla? A whisper in the halls of continuity, her counsel reminds him of the wisdom in preservation. Torn between these influences, King Charles finds himself at a crossroads of the heart and the realm. Trusted advisors circle him like fabled spectres with advice and warnings, each possessing foresight tinged with their own agendas. Some advocate for Catherine, seeing her as the vessel through which royal evolution might securely flow. Others caution him of the shadows that lurk dissent. Traditionalists who might view such a move as audacious or reckless, they invoke the ghosts of kings past, those whose legacies were marred or glorified by the gambits they dared to take. Comparisons to these ancestral giants haunt King Charles, compelling him to measure his decisions against theirs, pondering if his reign shall echo with triumph, or he will be ensnared by the chorus of their criticisms. The legacy of past kings whispers insistently, reminding him of the solemn oaths sworn upon crowns heavy with history. King Charles, driven by the hopes of an enduring mark on his lineage, knows well the perils that accompany soul-searching decisions. Each strategy born in recluse threads, a tapestry that could unravel his reign or solidify it with authority's undeniable force. It is a perilous path, and the stakes rise with each thought of consequence looming larger than life itself, making it glaringly clear that this choice carries an impact far beyond the throne. Therein lies the delicate, teetering balance. With the burden of choice pressing inexorably down, the path King Charles has chosen leads us deeper into the royal labyrinth, where past, present and future converge. Here, the tides of courage and caution crash with ferocity, each wave hinting at a portentous destiny, yet unseen a destiny, poised to carve its memory into the annals of time. Second, sculpting the enduring silhouette of his sovereign fate. Within the labyrinthine corridors of the palace, alliances are tested, and whispered secrets echo in the night. The Queen Consort and the soon-to-be elevated Catherine have their allies, and the stakes struggle between loyalty and ambition. Who plots in the shadows and contexted betrayal? The palace, an isle of splendor against a backdrop of regal tradition, conceals within its walls a tapestry woven with intrigue and silent power struggles. As alliances subtly form around Catherine and Camilla, the air pulsates with unspoken tension, each side securing its pawns in preparation for the inevitable clash. Words meant to stay quiet as a whisper are spoken behind velvet curtains, where goose downs are reputed to smother screams. The formidable Queen Consort, tenacious and cunning, wraps herself in the cloak of legacy, while Catherine, poised yet ambitious, cultivates her own following, wooing those disenchanted by the old guard. Fueled by ambition and cloaked in secrecy, intimate meetings unfold behind closed doors, where shadows dance across walls like ghosts of regret. In these clandestine councils, promises are exchanged with fervent nods, a currency far more potent than coin. The words, heavy with implication, unravel in calculated order, each with the precision of an archer's arrow striking true. The dialogue, cautious and conspiratorial, serves as the backbone for a future clawed from the pit of uncertainty. There is no room for hesitation. Every move is a step toward an uncharted future, and every ally, a potential adversary. Yet beneath this intricate game lie personal rivalries, age-old grudge matches that simmer with the heat of rekindled feuds. Perhaps it is a reenactment of history, destined to repeat as each rivalry digs deep, its roots in bloodied sod, watered by the tea. Ears of past defeats, the corridors echo with distant feuds, their hallowed walls remembering the hushed betrayals of yesteryears, now revived by the infectious fervor of ambition. These past spectres perch upon shoulders, whispering to the players, still engaged in a relentless dance under crowns and regalia. History stands witness, offering a cautionary tale as the pendulum of power swings precariously. With every shifting allegiance, the palace staff finds itself tangled in this web of intrigue, custodians of knowledge, incriminating enough to rattle empires. These silent sentinels, privy to the clandestine drama, tread lightly, a mosaic of loyalty and self-preservation etched onto their faces. As they move about, their presence is a reminder of the delicate balance and the turbulent undercurrents coiled beneath the polished surface. Secrets, once shrouded in mystery, become the very marrow of whispered conversations among the phantoms of passers-by. But now, revelations unfurl like the downy threads of a silk tapestry, their patterns revealing ancient betrayals capable of warping the course of destiny. Old letters, forgotten in dust-choked alcoves, speak anew, their aged ink hinting at hidden truths long buried beneath decorous lies. What might these revelations unearth, if not the soul of the very kingdom bound to them? Trust splinters with brittle cracks, rippling through time-worn bonds, casting shadows that lengthen ominously as the sun dips toward an uncertain horizon. The palace stands poised amid eerie silence, its opulent halls bearing witness to conversations laden with portentous feelings, each alternately tinged with delight and dread. Here, where every hushed word bears the weight to incite scandal, the atmosphere is electric, charged by the thickness of suspense hanging like a storm barely held at bay. As night falls, and the palace seems to hold its bay, Wreath, the true test of characters, emerges, revealing dark corridors where destinies are irrevocably shaped. With Catherine's ascension, the winds of change promise a new era for the British monarchy, one poised at the edge of tradition and transformation. Can this renewal usher in a renaissance for a kingdom divided, or will it unravel the very fabric of one of history's longest reigning dynasties? The realm stands on the precipice of a seismic shift, sparked by King Charles's daring vision, a strategic reimagining of the monarchy. It was a vision whispered in quiet chambers, now cascading into the public sphere, demanding that the crown, no longer an isolated beacon of ancient lore, aligns itself with the modern world. Catherine, with poise akin to her ancestry yet tempered with the wisdom of her era, steps forward. Her objectives are not simple embellishments of legacy. They are a profound revolution crafted to bridge old and new in an age of digital monarchs and civic awakening. As the Commonwealth watches with bated breath, the monarchy's relationship with its vast family of nations hangs in a delicate balance. The fabric of once unyielding ties now tugs at Catherine's conscience, a challenge she shoulders with foresight and determination. Can this kingdom keep its heart while expanding its embrace to include the voices that cry for representation, equity, and evolution? Society itself teeters on the brink of transformation. The power reshapes its contours, where influence races through corridors of influence and commonality. This redistribution does not merely shift seats of power, but rewrites the script of societal expectation. Will this echo of renewal translate to broader empowerment, or will it feed the shadows of skepticism long entrenched in public consciousness? Royal experts and insiders swirl their commentaries into the public discourse, their voices weaving a narrative of potential long-term changes. They speak of a monarchy innovating its relevance, glimpsing transformations so profound they seem almost out of reach. Yet amid these sweeping forecasts lies the daunting task of marrying ancient traditions with innovating ideals. The essence of royalty is its history, its continuity, a tightrope walk between reverence for what was and an audacious reach for what could be. This blend is not without its friction, as whispers of radical change ripple against the bedrock of regality. Each royal decree is a balancing act of vulnerabilities displayed before a watchful world. As the curtain falls on the current chapter of monarchy, the whispers of a new age beckon profoundly, where the stakes are higher than ever before. The very core of the British monarchy trembles in this hour of trial, a time where the grace of one queen may redefine a kingdom. The past and future now stand face to face, locked in a silent dance that will seal the fate of a centuries-old dynasty. It is Catherine's time, a time where her choices could light the way to a new dawn or cast shadows that forever alter the throne's enduring tale. With the royal house's fate hanging by a thread, the ultimate confrontation looms between past and present, between status quo and revolution. Will the monarchy find reconciliation in this maelstrom of emotions and conflicts, or slide into chaos as personal vendettas become public? In the dim corridors of power, shadows of old grievances danced, fueled by Camilla and Catherine's undeniable tension. Their eyes met, Yet it was not merely a stare, but a piercing gaze, each carrying the weight of whispered conspiracies and unvoiced reproaches. Words were spoken that should have remained unspoken, wounds reopened that had barely healed each one, reminding the other of past slights and perceived betrayals. Yet, amidst the clamor of clashing wills, an unexpected quiet settled. Here was an opportunity to strip away the veneer of royal expectation and see the human beneath. Would this meeting be a spark for harmony or the final nail in the monarchy's coffin? At the heart of this tempest stood King Charles, a solitary figure harboring the hopes of a nation and the burdens of dynastic legacy. His decision would be pivotal, the fulcrum upon which the monarchy's pendulum swing would rest. Inside his study, maps and letters cluttered the desk, each one a reminder of realms governed and hearts left distant. Yet as arbiter, he'd transcend mere governance. King Charles felt the ancient pull of a lineage stretching back through centuries, urging peace. Was this the moment to assert his dominion, to quell the bitter fires of discord? And so he pondered, each heartbeat a step toward destiny. In seeking a middle ground, he found only razor-thin divides, each choice offering its temptation of immediate peace or long-term ruin. He saw the potential for peace, perhaps not in resolution, but in acceptance, in the soft, crippling understanding between rivals, not as enemies, but as people sharing the same blood-stained path. For the first time, yielding seemed less like surrender, more like strength. Still, the spectre of failure loomed large, an unyielding shadow. If reconciliation failed, what then? History had ever been unkind to crowns heavy with dissent. A failure here would mean ripples felt far beyond their silent chambers, shattering not just familial bonds, but destabilizing a kingdom perched on the brink of modernity. Yet it was not mere survival at stake, it was the dignity of a nation, the faith of its people. The repercussions would unfold slowly, like ink seeping through parchment, affecting the structure of power and rippling out into society itself. In a world grown smaller by digital echoes, every action would send shockwaves on a global scale. As twilight deepened, intimate moments unfolded between the royals. They gathered, not glittering with jewels, but clothed in vulnerability. Conversations shifted softly from past trials to new beginnings, redefining roles not as duties but as opportunities to connect. Bonds that seemed worn from the strain showed resilience. New tendrils of hope stretched cautiously from these shared stories and solemn vows. Hearts, once steeled by protocol, softened as the shared realization settled that for all their pomp, they were, above all, family. And then, as if charting new constellations, they began to see their places in this redefined royal tapestry. So, when the dust settles, who will stand valorous in the new order? The choices carved today will sculpt the silhouettes of tomorrow, a poignant testament, whispering through halls gilded by time about a kingdom forever changed, made stronger by wounds healed rather than inflicted further, as tensions subside and the gale of change abates. A new dawn awaits the legacy of the monarchy. The choices made today will echo through the annals of history.